Welcome to Sydney's Best Builds. I'm Jason Ballo. We're here in Leichhardt, joined by the Avid construction guys who built these 3 incredible townhouses. Let's go check them out. Well, we're here joined by Nadim and Sammy Avid. Welcome, boys. Thanks for joining us. You guys are obviously brothers. Tell us a little bit about your family history, how you guys got started into building, and how you guys decided to form Avid Constructions, and how you decided that Avid Constructions will get into the top tier of residential builds.
We basically started when we were kids. Our father was a carpenter, builder as well. He did a bit of building work back in the days. Sammy, being the older brother, sort of pushed it more. He was always following my dad around until we got into the building game about 7-8 years ago.
And Sammy, you went to uni, is that right?
I started civil engineering.
So you have an engineering background?
I do. It helped me a lot with the structural side of building, that sort of thing.
You know, we're lucky enough to be in one of your incredible projects, and this is a really top end finishes. You know, it's really high end. How did you guys decide to get into the high-end market or the high-end space of building?
As carpenters growing up, we did a lot of high-end detailed work, so we got a passion and eye for detail, so we love that. We want something that's challenging. Anyone can build a standard build, but we want detail. We want things that make us think and, you know, showcase our skills.
In terms of time frame, when a client brings you on, obviously these are families that you guys are working for, and you know they want to get their families in here, you know, living and their kids running around. So how do you work with that time frame in mind?
You've got to work to a time frame. I know families, they got budgets and they got time constraints, and for them money is a big thing. You've got to work to a set time frame, time plan, and you've got to continue to follow that as you go. Otherwise you'll fall behind and you won't finish on time. So
how closely do you guys work with the architects for a project like this? Do you get appointed by the client? Does the client request you guys and then the architect and you guys then work hand in hand? Or do you get appointed by the architect? And how closely do you work with the architect?
Typically, we like to put our input into a build. If we see something that we feel that can be improved on, we'll let the clients know. Because later on it becomes costly if they decide, oh, we don't like this, we don't like that. Sometimes people can't envisage the future, you know what I mean? See a little bit of detail in the bulkheads here.
Yeah, wow.
We try to maximise, it is a townhouse in Leichhardt, so we try to maximise as much space as we can.
This wall is incredible. We
tried to mimic concrete, finished concrete. This is actually a smooth set plaster with an oxide, so you can typically put whatever colour you want in there. We tried to get as close as we could to concrete.
Straight away I get a sense of light coming into the house.
Look, first and foremost, we've got a 3.6 metre ceiling on entry.
Okay.
That creates grandness and openness, but we've got this courtyard.
Yeah, right.
That with a massive window, almost floor to second floor ceiling. Pretty much acts like a light well. Wow,
this kitchen is spectacular. I've seen a lot of marble in my time, like a lot of marble, and I love marble, but I've never felt something like this. How do you get that texture?
So people would typically think this is marble. This is quartz. It's a little bit harder than marble, not as porous, and it's called leathered.
It's cost effective as well, isn't it?
It is less sealer. You don't have to seal it every 6 months.
But this looks just as good as marble, let me tell you.
It does.
So how do you get this effect?
So this is a leathered, they call it a leathered finish. This is actually smooth when it comes and they polish it, but then they actually acid wash this. And what it does, it actually takes away the softer part of the stone and leaves the harder parts protruding slightly, and then they polish that up and then you get that leathered effect. So we wanted to point a difference. I know everyone does marble, you see a lot of marble, but this is just something different that we wanted to showcase.
Now just looking up, I mean, I see this whole space and so much light getting access into the house.
This was another way just to draw light into the space. But we needed something. We didn't want hanging lights from the top. We needed something to just give us the extra light down here. So we put these beams in and just put the lights on there. You can move them any which way you want. Everything was sort of thought through. So we wanted maximum light here, and I think we achieved the look. Calcutta marble.
Calcutta marble.
Yep.
Love this.
Generally, places like this, townhouses, your shorter space.
Yeah.
So we tried to utilize as much space we could.
Right.
Under here. So it's not just the bathroom.
What's this?
You actually get another.
Oh, under the stairs. Wow. Let's take a look outside. Now, what's apparent to me straight away is the continuity with the color scheme. You know, you got the black frames throughout. I've noticed all the windows as well.
We try and keep it consistent. Your black handles, your black fan wraps into the feature of the barbecue. This is a silver. The decking here is a silver top ash.
Silver top ash.
Yep, it's a hardwood.
Hardwood, yeah.
Referencing back to Sammy, what Sammy was talking about, the overland path.
Overland path.
Yeah. So because you can see here the boundary, we've gone to the boundary, you actually got, if you ever get a flood, there's a tunnel that goes all the way under the structure. It's under this decking and goes through.
Now, is that an easement?
No, it's not an easement. It's just a hydraulic engineered design.
Yeah, right.
We actually salvaged this from the groundworks.
Is that right?
These were in the ground. These pieces of stone in the footings.
Yeah, wow.
We pulled them out, salvaged them, and we acid washed them just to give us that nice clean. And we just sat them there on nice white pebbles.
Yeah, wow. They're not going anywhere.
No, they're not going anywhere.
Automatically, you can see the light
detail
inside.
The LED strip.
LED strip. Wow, these louvers from top to bottom, right?
Top to bottom, gives you a nice airflow. They're airtight. Some louvers, once you close them, they let wind draft through.
Yeah.
These ones have a good seal and they shut tight.
I noticed straight away this flush, you know, the transition from timber to carpet.
With a new build, sometimes with renovations, you can't help having steps in certain areas, but with a new build, we always plan for having flush finishes everywhere. We don't ever want a 20 or a 30 mil step. Aesthetically, it's not nice, and practically, it's a trip hazard. This piece of glass here was an epic struggle. This weighed about 200 to 300 kilos.
Wow.
It's a double glazed. Each panel is 10 mil thick times 2. We had like a hydraulic suction plate that suctions to the glass to carry this up. We sort of winched this up from the bottom. This took a lot of time to install.
You couldn't just. Normally people just brick this up and render on the outside.
And even as a finished product like this, it looks simple. It looks like, oh yeah, that's just the frame and glass. But to get this in was really difficult.
Master suite. This is really nice. Automatically, straight away, I see the AC vent there, which means there's a bulkhead tucked away somewhere in the back. Is that correct?
That's correct. So what we've tried to do is hide the bulkhead, and it's worked out that it's come right on top of the his and hers wardrobe, inbuilt wardrobes.
So same finishes downstairs, consistent. The only difference is his and hers bathroom, his and hers sinks, basins.
Kept the features coming through, the black features, obviously.
Plenty of cabinet space.
Yeah, your soft close all the way through.
Yeah, wow.
PowerPoints, consistent. Just a nice little touch with the mirror here. We put a radius on the corners.
Yeah, wow. Well, there you have it. Another masterful project. Thank you for joining us on Sydney's Best Builds. I'm your host, Jason Ballo. We'll see you again on the next one.